You already know. That's the part nobody wants to say out loud. You already know what God told you. You already know what He's been showing you. You already know the direction He's been pointing you towards, but you haven't moved. It is not because you don't believe in God. It's not because you don't pray. It's not because you don't have faith. It's because choosing God's direction costs you something. And most of the time, what it costs you is comfort. What it costs you is security. What it costs you is the feeling of having enough money before you move. And that right there is where most people stay stuck. Not because God hasn't spoken, but because money has become louder than His voice. Welcome to Lane to Wealth. I'm Claudie. This channel exists because the world is full of people teaching you how to chase wealth, how to build income, and how to get rich, how to become successful. And I'm not here to do that. I'm here to teach you something different. How to chase God, how to choose obedience over comfort, how to stop letting money be the deciding factor in every decision God is trying to lead you through. Because when God is truly first, money finds its proper place, not the other way around. Stay with me because in this video, I'm going to show you 3 things. First, why most people are waiting on money to do what God already told them to do. Second, how money became louder than God's voice in your life without you even realizing it. And third, what it actually looks like to choose God first when everything in you is waiting for financial security before you move. So let's start here. Let's start with part 1. Waiting on money to do what God already told you to do. There's a version of disobedience that looks responsible. It sounds like this: I'll start when I have more money. I'll obey when timing is better. I'll move when I feel more financially secure. I'll say yes to God when I have enough saved. And it doesn't feel like disobedience. It feels wise, it feels mature, it feels responsible. But if you look closely at what's actually happening, you're not waiting on God, you're waiting on money, right? And that means somewhere along the way, money became your green light. Not God, money. And this is one of the quietest, most dangerous places a person of faith can live, because it looks like patience, it looks like wisdom, it looks like good stewardship, but it's actually fear dressed up in financial language. Let me show you what this looks like in real life, right? God puts something on your heart, a business, a ministry, a move, a conversation. You need to have a direction you need to take, and your first thought is not, God said it, so I'll do it. Your first thought is, how much is this going to cost me? And when the number feels too big, or the bank account feels too small, or the timing feels financially off, you put it on hold, right? You tell yourself you're being responsible. You tell yourself you're waiting for the right season. You tell yourself God understands, but deep down, you already know. You already know that's not wisdom, that's fear. And fear dressed as wisdom is still fear. The Bible is full of people God called to move before the money made sense, right? Abraham left everything without knowing where he was going. Moses walked toward Pharaoh with nothing but a staff. The disciples left their nets, their income, their security, their livelihood immediately. Not when the timing was better, not when they had more saved immediately, because obedience doesn't wait for financial comfort. And that is the standard most people will never meet. Not because they don't love God, but because they love security more. So let's go on with part 2. How money became louder than God's voice. Nobody wakes up and decides to make money their God, right? It happens quietly, slowly, reasonably. It starts when you tie your peace to your bank balance, when you feel calm when money is there and anxious when it's not, when your mood shifts based on what your account says. That's not just stress, that's worship. Because whatever controls your peace controls you. And whatever controls you is what you're serving. Jesus said it directly. No one can serve 2 masters. Either you will hate one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Matthew 6, 24. Notice he didn't say you won't try to serve both. He said you cannot. It's not a moral warning, it's a spiritual law. Two masters cannot occupy the same throne. And in most people's lives, money is sitting on the throne that belongs to God. Not because they're greedy, not because they're materialistic, not because they don't go to church, but because every real decision they make comes back to money. Can I afford this? What if I lose this? What if it doesn't work financially? What if I invest and it fails? What if I obey and I end up broke? Every question leads back to money. Every decision filters through money. Every movement waits on money. That's not God first. That's money first with a prayer on top. And I'm not saying this from a pedestal. I'm saying this because I've lived it. There was a season in my life where I thought I had God first. I prayed, I went to church, I read scripture. But when I really looked at my decisions, my actual choices, what I moved toward and what I avoided, money was driving almost everything. I was waiting for more money before I committed to my purpose. I was waiting for my account balance to tell me whether God has blessed me or not. And that's backwards, completely backwards, because God's presence is not confirmed by your bank account. His direction is not determined by your financial comfort. His calling doesn't wait for your savings to reach a certain number. He calls, he leads, he provides, but he will not compete with money for first place in your life. Let's go with part 3. What it actually looks like to choose God first. Choosing God first is not a feeling. It's not a declaration. It's not something you say at the beginning of a prayer. It's a decision that shows up in your actual choices and what you move toward even when the money isn't there yet. And what you say no to because God said no when the money is good. And how you handle provision when it comes, and how you handle delay when it feels too long. Here is what it practically looks like. It looks like moving when God says move before the bank account agrees. It looks like releasing money when God says give, even when your flesh wants to hold it, right? It looks like building what God assigned you, even when the income isn't there yet. It looks like saying no to opportunities that pay well, but pull you away from your purpose. It looks like trusting provision, not as a concept, but as a daily practice. And none of that is easy because we live in a world that measures everything by money. Your success, your stability, your worth, your readiness. But God doesn't measure you by that. He doesn't measure you that way. He measures you by obedience, by stewardship, by faithfulness with what he already gave you. And this is where the parable of the talents become personal. The master gave 3 servants different amounts. 2 of them moved, 1 of them waited. The one that waited didn't wait because he was lazy. He waited because he was afraid. And most of us are always afraid to lose what he had. He was afraid to make the wrong move, afraid that action could cost him more than inaction. And that fear, that protection of what he already had, cost him everything. The master's response was not gentle. You wicked and lazy servant. Not because he failed, but because he chose fear over faithfulness. And I wonder how many of us are burying what God gave us. Calling it wisdom, calling it patience, calling it waiting for the right time, when really it's just fear dressed in responsible language. The question God is asking you today is not how much do you have, it's what are you doing with what I gave you? So let's close this. I just want to say you already know what God told you. That thing that keeps coming back, that direction that won't leave you alone, that assignment that makes sense in your spirit, even when it doesn't make sense in your bank account, you already know. The question was never whether God spoke. The question is whether you're going to choose it. Not when the money is right, not when the timing is perfect, not when it finally makes financial sense. Now, because obedience delayed is still disobedience. And every day you wait on money to confirm what God already said is a day you're serving the wrong master. This channel exists to help you flip that, to help you detach from money as your source and attach to God as your foundation. Not so you can be poor, not so you can ignore wisdom and stewardship, but so that when money comes, and it will come, it comes as a tool in the hands of someone who was already faithful, not as a master over someone who was waiting for permission to obey. If this landed somewhere real in you today, please subscribe, not for content, for community, for the people who are done chasing money and ready to chase God. And if you want to go deeper, I put together something simple to help you apply this, not just here. So the link is below. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.